What is up, you guys? My name is Austin Marks and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm currently a respiratory therapist who is pursuing the physician assistant career path. On my channel I make videos about respiratory therapy and I'm also documenting my journey becoming a PA. So if you want to see any of that, make sure you like and subscribe. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about what was the hardest classes in respiratory therapy school. What classes did I struggle with? So there were actually a couple of these I struggled with, I'm not going to lie. So I think the first semester was definitely my hardest semester because I had two of the hardest classes, and that was anatomy and physiology of the cardiopulmonary system. I also had disease processes within that semester. So I don't come from a medical background. No one in my direct family has been in the medical field. So all of this was very new for me. I know just going to school for my gen eds and learning anatomy and physiology, that was a little difficult. However, learning the disease processes and the pathophysiology behind it, that was a whole new ballgame. I didn't understand it at first. I had to do a lot of studying. I'm going to go ahead and make another video talking about how I directly studied in respiratory therapy school, how I got A's in most of these classes, A's and B's I should say. But I did fairly well at my respiratory therapy school, and I was the class president in my class. I had the best GPA. So the advice that I'm giving you guys is good advice, and if you follow it, you will definitely succeed. So as I said, the first semester with anatomy and physiology as well as disease processes was terrible. Learning that was just... So that was the semester where we had the most people dropped. So we had 18 start my respiratory therapy program, and by the end of that semester we only had 8. Unfortunately, 2 more people also ended up failing another class. However, they both graduated the next class behind us, and they're both respiratory therapists. They're both amazing respiratory therapists, so even if this happens to you, that's no big deal. I mean, you'll make a comeback. Just make sure that you learn from your mistakes and that you go even harder the next time. So the very next semester I had pharmacology. Once again, a whole nother language. I had no idea what the heck I was learning. And then the next semester was pretty easy. I had like oxygen therapy and just learning about all that stuff and the different maneuvers about that. And then the very next semester was my critical care semester, so mechanical ventilation, BiPAP, high flow, different things that we do in the ICU to help these patients. I also learned about feeding for patients and how that can, how caloric intake can go ahead and affect the CO2 and all that other good stuff. I think that class may have been definitely the hardest. The other semester was 2 separate classes, but I had 1 class and it was just critical care. However, there was a lot. I think it was 6 credit hours, so there's a lot of studying. And then the next semester I had a neonatal pediatric semester. So I know a lot of people do struggle with NICU or neonatal pediatric, and that's totally okay. Like, that's a whole new ball game. However, I think at this point I was starting to figure it out. I had a good study rhythm down, and this was actually my best class. Now, unfortunately, I do not work in neonatal or pediatrics, but I would like to someday. I think it'd be pretty cool, just because they have a whole lot of different things that go on with them than adults do. So definitely new learning material. Everything is different. Pharmacology is different. I mean, a lot of it is the same drugs, but different dosages. So a lot of people do struggle with this class, and you may be one of them, which is okay. So as I said, the hardest classes that I had were anatomy and physiology, pathophysiology, critical care, and pharmacology. So those 4 classes, I had a lot more classes than that, but I thought the other ones I did pretty well in. Because, like I said, I was starting to get rhythm down a little bit. The information wasn't as hard or as new as some of those things were for me. But, I mean, everyone's different. Everyone has their different perspective on different things. And like I said, I'm going to make a video about studying and how I studied through respiratory school and how I did pretty well. And hopefully this will benefit you guys. If you have any questions, just leave in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.